Hi friends, Juno Palindrome here. Today I have a pick-a-card reading for you of Messages from the Eye. So these are messages that you need to hear right now, channeled through the all-seeing eye. So, in a moment I'm going to bring you to a screen for you to choose between pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. But before I do, I'm going to give you a quick 30-second nature meditation followed by the card selection. Now, each reading will be a series of tarot cards, oracle cards from the Shamanic Healing Oracle, a rune stone. Right now I also have animal guide messages, and we will end the reading with a message from the books. So in order to get those, I roll some dice in order to generate some words, and then I'll take those words, chop them up, and put them back together in the form of some kind of poem. And if you'd like, you can tune in to the very end of the reading where I will read all 3 poems together as one night's poem. So if you'd like to join me for the end of the reading, that would be great, but it's up to you. Without further ado, I'm going to take you to the nature meditation, and then you can select your reading. Thanks! Pile number 1. This is your eye. The symbol of the all-seeing eye exists in many cultures and kind of permeates time in a lot of ways. It's like this deep, infinite being of consciousness that just knows and sees everything. So since it knows and sees everything, you might as well ask it questions, right? So this is your reading for information from the all-seeing eye. What are you not seeing that it is? The book that you chose, Shamans, Mystics, and Doctors. A psychological inquiry into India and its healing traditions. Pretty cool book. We'll get to that in a minute. Your rune is Laguz, and it is the rune signifying deep spiritual love. Pretty good rune to get. For your animal card, you got the crow. So just a quick note, this deck utilizes knowledge and tradition from different Native American groups. I'd just like to say that I, am not a Native American, and so as much as I like these cards a lot, I like animal symbolism a lot, and I think that they have a lot to share. But I want to be really careful about accessing cultures that are not my own, obviously. So I'll take the book's considerations into account, but we'll also just be using them as blanket animal symbolism as well. So you got the crow. For your Shamanic Healing Oracle, you got 3 cards. Normally I just pick 2. We have Honoring Your Energy, Teaching, and Healing Energy. And for the traditional Rider-Waite deck, we have the World, Eight of Pentacles, Temperance, the Two of Pentacles, Eight of Wands. And finally, we're going to move that over here. Finally, we have my handmade tarot deck that I put together myself. We've got the Six of Wands, Two of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles, the Lovers, and the Hierophant. So, we'll dive right into your spread here. I really like this one a lot. I think that you have been going through a journey. So, in this book, it talks about the crow spirit in the particular traditions that it's talking about. There's the story of the crow who, as you can see here, it's gazing into its shadow. So it's really talking about this journey into looking at our shadows. You can think of your shadow self as a lot of the things within you that you've buried, the difficult things to look at within yourself, those hard aspects that we shut off and shut down and don't see. And they don't necessarily mean that those are negative aspects. A lot of times we pass judgment on ourselves, though, putting them to be that. They're the difficult things within ourselves that are hard to look at. And I think that you have, like this crow here, gone down a deep journey into seeing and understanding that aspect of yourself. And to tie this in with the messages from the all-seeing eye, I think that you can utilize that knowledge of the self, right? You're seeing beyond and into the larger picture. For the crow as well, we can think about the crow's eye view, flying up above the scene and seeing things from that perspective. That's a lot of eagle imagery. It tends to be that. But birds in general, right, they have the ability to fly and see more from a higher perspective, from a distanced perspective. And that is the all-seeing eye's perspective, is this universal, conceptual knowingness, right? So I think that you've been on a journey of looking inside yourself and seeing those aspects, because we have a couple of things here. The Healing Oracle cards, they tend to give the theme of the reading, the advice that you're being given. And these are all cards that are showing me that I'm getting a feeling of mastery here. I feel as though you've done a deep, deep amount of work on yourself, and that has lifted you into newer circumstances. We have the Nine of Pentacles here, and the Nine of Pentacles is the card of ultimate abundance in a lot of ways. In the Rider-Waite deck, it's depicted as a woman who is in her garden, basking in the finer things of life, and it's a pentacle, so it's talking about the material plane, but a lot of times a person who is deeply in abundance, it doesn't necessarily have to indicate money, but it can indicate being in a state of abundance. So you have worked on yourself to the point where you are good, you know? You've come into a solid place within yourself. We have the Lovers here. I don't know if this is indicating that love is coming into your life or you're in a relationship. I think that that's possible, but to me, this feels as though we're talking about a deeper self-love and a deeper spiritual love, because that's what we have here as well. Now, the Lagos rune can also indicate a relationship or coming into one, but ultimately it indicates a sense of spiritual love. And I think that you have come into a sense of that within yourself. And you are now being asked to take what you have learned and to share it with others. Now, a couple of cards before I get into that thought. I think that you've worked on self-balancing. You have two cards that are big balancing cards. You have the Two of Pentacles, which is all about taking life's challenges and juggling. It's literally a juggler with the infinity symbol in between the two pentacles. And he has opened up this sense of the beyond, of the infinite possibility of life by learning how to balance the parts within and the parts without, understanding that our inner landscape and our outer landscape reflect one another, that the breeze in the wind is moving the tree branch, but both the branch and the wind are the same entity. Does that make any sense? That we are within and without one single entity. Wow, I'm getting real deep in this, and it's great. All-seeing eye. These are the deep eye readings from beyond, right? Oh my god, I love this reading. Temperance, right? She is literally an angel with the whoa. She's got the eye in her forehead there too. I was talking about that earlier. But see, she's juggling the water between the two cups. She is balancing between one and the other, right? And so I think that you have unlocked that within yourself, because now you're being asked to teach, and I haven't even gotten to that. I'll get to that. Wow, this reading is really powerful. I hope you're getting something out of this, because, wow. We've got the Eight of Pentacles here. This is a person who is very hard at work, and it can indicate one of two things. It can indicate either taking on the next steps to learning more, or to starting a new venture or a new business, a new skill in the material plane. He's very skilled and now is ready to apply that skill to something. And I think that you have worked on this larger spiritual knowledge and potentially are being asked to work with that, right? To make that work in the material plane, or at the very least to become a teacher. I really think so. Because we have the Hierophant here, who talks about tradition, But in a lot of ways, the Hierophant appears in our lives when we need lessons, when we need guidance. Um, when we embark on these journeys within ourselves, and I really do think that you have been on a spiritual journey and you are on the other side of something massive. Um, if this doesn't resonate, maybe you're about to start that journey, but no, you're definitely on the other side. So if it doesn't resonate, this isn't your pile. But the Hierophant is he appears in your life when you're ready to learn a new lesson in a spiritual sense. And anyone can be a teacher. It doesn't have to be a formal schooling. Teaching comes to us when we open ourselves to the universe to being ready for that teaching. And I think that you are about to be that for someone or for many people. I think maybe you're being called to do that, or the all-seeing eye is letting you know that this work that you've done on yourself, this opening that you have opened your consciousness to, um, is applicable to others, and it is something that you can now give. You've received deep insight and knowledge from experience, and now you can give that knowledge to others, and you will be rewarded for it, financially, or on a sense of abundance. It will bring you into a place of abundance to share your knowledge. We have the Two of Wands here. It is a man who, in the Rider-Waite deck, it is a man with two wands holding the globe. Oftentimes it talks about travel or journeying or starting something new, about to venture off into a new venture, which I think is potentially teaching. Now, I'm going to read this teaching card, because I keep saying teaching, from the Shamanic Healing Oracle, because it has a lot of applicable things for you to hear. The situation you are inquiring about encourages teaching, whether it be student-teacher, parent-child, or just friend-friend. We are, all of us, learning and teaching constantly when we are maintaining a high vibration energetically. Never despair that the seeds you have planted have failed to take root. They may be taking time to germinate, or they may have migrated to another field. Do not plant seeds with the expectation of an outcome. Disengage from the attachment to the outcome of the situation and move on. A farmer doesn't sit down next to the seeds he planted, waiting for them to sprout. What a recipe for disappointment. He plants them and moves on. Never once does he second guess if he was doing the right thing in the right way. He simply does what he is called to do, and trusts that the fruits of his labor will be what they were supposed to be. Yeah, so it says this card also encourages a more formal teaching experience. Look for ways you can enrich others' lives through sharing your expertise and knowledge. Yeah, I think that you have planted many seeds, and now they're being ready to harvest. Although we didn't get the harvest card, but you've been working on a skill, and that's a real skill. And maybe you don't see it as that, and that's why the all-seeing eye is coming in with this higher perspective to show you that the things that you have been working on in your life that may have just looked like life are really experiences that are offering you the world. You are a worldly person with the world card here. Look at her. She is just like floating there with some crazy eagles and lions and oh, eagle. So we got more birds. We got a bull, fertility, lion, courage, blonde dude. He-Man. The deep He-Man symbols. Let me get back to your reading. Yeah. I really do think that you have tapped in. I mean, I've tapped in right now, so I think that you're right there with me, honestly. We have, in the Temperance card, I just keep being drawn to this crown that's in the background, which I think is like the Temple of God or some religious thing, but like beyond that though, right? It's like that, it's the eye. You can kind of see there's like a little eye in the crown there. You probably can't see that. I don't think it's supposed to be there, but I see it there. That all-seeing eye is the sun. So, whoa. Yeah. Healing. I think you're a healer. I think that you've healed yourself and now you're ready to share that healing knowledge with people, one person, many people, the world, the internet, tarot card readings like this. I don't know, it's open. There's so many things you can do. I'm going to read the healing card now. Drawing this card guides you to work with energy on a healing level. Take a class, go and receive a Reiki healing, or just sit in meditation and concentrate on mindfulness. While the healing energy of divine love, you do not have to know how to do anything. Just sit quietly, set your intention, and let Creator's love fill you up. When you are living in a vibration of healing, you not only affect yourself, but those around you. Others then can connect with your energy and their vibrations can rise as a result. There is no force to this. This is basically how energy works. Your vibrational charge will affect change in the ones you are close to. Alternatively, this card signifies healing is taking place within a relationship. I think that you're in a position through healing yourself to help others along that same process, right? Like I was talking about the shadow before. I think that shadow journey that you've been through and come to the other side in is an open point. Oftentimes when we go through difficult, hard things, they can act as a sort of initiation, right? You go through something difficult and challenging, and by surviving that, you are on the other side of it, a changed being, a completely different person. And obviously you're the same person, but through that life experience, you've opened up within yourself almost a portal into the infinite, right? You have that open, infinite possibility within your consciousness now. And by tapping into that, you have the ability to help people, others, yourself, everything. Honoring your energy. I want to read that card. We all have those days when we are disinclined to do anything. We try all sorts of mental tricks to talk ourselves into doing what we should be doing. Does this energy work? No. Oh, does this ever work? No. We end up feeling guilty, a very low vibration, for not getting anything done, which causes us to try twice as hard the next day, which causes us to get overwhelmed and exhausted, which then leads to becoming caught up in a vicious cycle. Your body has rhythms, just as everything else on this earth does. Flowers, trees, plants, and the elements. The tides ebb and flow, the sun and moon rise and set, animals hibernate, and flowers grow, bloom, and go dormant. You need to listen to the inherent cycles within you. Rest when you need to, work when you need to. Do not try to outthink the natural rhythm. Just go easy on yourself and reserve judgment. You are your own harshest critic. Yeah, Okay, so I think that you are your own harshest critic thing really is applicable in this situation, because I think that maybe you don't necessarily. I think that this is something new to you, right? I think that this information that's coming to you through this reading maybe feels a little bit bigger than what you were expecting to hear. I think that maybe you haven't seen the universality of your own experience, right? But I think that by honoring your journey, sharing it with others, I think that you'd be infinitely surprised at how helpful that will be to other people. There was a quote in here that really caught me when I was looking up these cards for you earlier. And it's at the very beginning of this book. It says, "Trust yourself, you know more than you think you do." I think that's something you need to hear. Because you are actually a very balanced person now. I don't think that you've been that way forever. And by honoring your energy, I think that maybe that's something you also need to work on more. You're being asked to continue to do that work, for sure. Because you also have the Eight of Pentacles here. You have the Nine as well, but I don't think you've broken quite into this Nine of Pentacles energy. I think you're getting there, but I think that because you have the Eight and then the Nine, you have to put some work in still, right? But you have opportunity here to really make something huge. You have access to the world here. Yeah. Trust yourself. You got this. And it's all happening very quickly. I think that maybe you've been going through this transformation for a long time, but now that you're on the other end of it, well, bam, you've got the Eight of Wands, which is very swift, fast-moving energy. That's what you've tapped into now. And now it's just like, bam. Spiritual love. Well, bam. I feel like I don't know how this reading is gonna feel for you, but man, have I gone through a journey. Woo! This is your eye. That's your reading. I'm gonna do the book now. So we're gonna generate a poem from the book here. 7 words, and then I'll rearrange them. I hope that you got tapped in to that the way that I was just then, because this eye has some powerful stuff for you. And I think that you have some powerful stuff for the rest of us. Right? I think that you have some very deep, powerful things that are really gonna change the world, right? Or change people's worlds. I think that you have that power, that access to really help people deeply with your insight that only comes from you. Only based on you and your experience do you have the ability to share with those around you and those that you have access to and beyond. Like, you have that ripple effect. We all do, but you personally are the only one who has what you have to offer. Nobody else. I don't have what you have. My roommates don't have what you have, but you have what you have, and you're being asked to look at that in a way that you can share with others, because I think that you've potentially been putting yourself down about it, or you just haven't seen how big of an effect you could have. But I hope that this reading has jostled that in perspective into you, because it's there. Ooh, yeah. Let's do the poem, and then I'm gonna say goodbye. This has been a long reading, I think, but it's been a good one, so I hope that you like it. Please let me know in the comments what you think. Word number 1 is said. Effort. And a don't the of. Okay, this is what I got. And the A said of effort, don't. So that's the tack on to your message here. I love that so much. That's and the A of course being the I. This one's so straightforward. Normally I'm like I have to be super interpretive, but this is just like nope. And the A said of effort, don't. So right, this is gonna flow to you. Don't let the planny brain get in the way. You don't have to like upheld your whole life and like figure out this whole big giant thing and do this whole big other thing all in this exact moment, right? I think whatever's going to happen is going to flow. So I think that you know, even if you have a potential business opportunity to move into some kind of spiritual or healing venture, I think that if that doesn't seem like you, don't force it. I think that whatever is going to be applicable to your situation is going to flow effortlessly. Right? Like this temperance card here, she's balancing the two cups together and the water is flowing from one to the other. So it's going to come to you, and you're going to have to put work in, right? We have the Eight of Pentacles here, who's showing you have to put in work. But as long as you're willing to put in the work for whatever this venture is, this new venture is going to happen. It's opening up to you, and it's going to be natural. It's going to flow through and to you in a way that's going to be supernatural, right? Because yeah, supernatural. There we go. It's going to be supernatural. Exactly. You know, I don't know how spiritual of a person you are. I think that you are based on these cards and this particular reading, but it's often said that we co-create with spirit, that we have the opportunity to work with spirit and make something happen together. So I think that that's something to take into account, right? That you put in the work, and then the things also manifest around you, and you get that together. And what you get, I didn't even say this card, but here it is. You've got the Six of Wands. Wands is the suit of manifestation, and this is a card where he's writing in victorious. He's the card of victory, right? So you've got the victory opening up to you. That was super roundabout. I hope that you stayed with me and you enjoyed that reading as much as I did. I loved it. I would love it if you could comment down in the comments, and if you can, I would absolutely adore it if you could subscribe to this channel. I'd like to shout out and thank to everyone who's subscribed to me already. I'm super thankful. I love your comments. It really means a lot to me. I'm really trying to grow this channel, and from what I've seen so far, it's starting to grow a little bit exponentially, and I think that's amazing. So if you can, your subscription really helps me out so much, and it helps me get out to a larger platform. And that's what I'd like to do. So if you have any comments and suggestions too, please feel free to let me know. If there's anything that feels good about this reading that you really like, feel free to let me know. If there's anything that didn't really feel great to you or didn't resonate, or you know, if you have any suggestions for me or whatever, I'm open. So yeah, let me know. I like experimenting with different divination methods and different ideas. So I'm trying to mix things up and see what happens. Yeah, anyway, see you later. Thanks for joining. Hi, pile number 2. Here is your reading for Messages from the Eye. So this was your eye that you chose. There's been a lot of eye imagery in many different cultures, going back to many different periods of history. And I don't know, personally I've always been drawn to eyes. I've been drawing them all over everything my whole life, and yeah, it's just an energy that I've been working with, so I figure why not bring on some messages for all of you, because I have been bringing them on for myself. So we're doing that. Yeah, let's get into your reading here. 1 second. The book that you chose was Magic, Science, and Religion by Malinowski. It's an anthropological text that is pretty neat, honestly. Malinowski is pretty cool. Bronislaw Malinowski. Yeah, look at that. It's so awesome. The book itself, cover-wise, isn't that great, but anyway, we'll get to the book in a minute. I've been a little scattered on these readings, so bear with me. They're pretty intense. Reading number 1 was incredibly intense, and I had to put the video aside for a day, or a couple days, actually. So we'll see how this one goes. It's a lot of fun so far. Let's get into your reading. So the rune that you have is Jera, which is a rune of celebration. It tends to signify both the end of something and the beginning of something else. Very similar in some ways to the death card in the tarot, which death represents a change, meaning something's going to end so that something else can start. It's like a chapter turn, but with this one, it's kind of more like a harvest. You've put an incredible amount of work into something, and you're ready to get the benefits from said work. It's the end of this work period and the beginning of this rewards period. So, for your animal oracle card, you got the dog. Dogs are pretty cool. If you have a dog, dogs are great. If you don't, they're still great. I don't have one, but I like them. Dog tends to represent courage. They are great guardians, very loyal friends. So we'll see how it fits into your reading in a moment. For your shamanic oracle cards, we have New Day, and we have sexual energy, which is interesting. We'll get to it in a minute. It doesn't necessarily mean sex. It can, but not necessarily. So we'll get into that in a moment, though. For your hand-drawn tarot deck, the one that I made myself, we've got the 3 of Pentacles, the Page of Cups, the 6 of Cups, the Emperor, the Ace of Cups, and the 2 of Cups. For the Rider-Waite tarot deck, you've got the Hanged Man, the Empress, the Page of Pentacles, Seven of Cups, and the Ace of Pentacles. So it looks like you got an extra hand-drawn tarot card. Yeah. So this is a very interesting spread. I really like it, and there's a lot going on. So we'll get into it in a moment, but the general gist of things, it feels very much like we've got this duality going. There's a lot of both in the imagery and in the cards themselves showing this sort of seesaw kind of a thing. Not necessarily like that you're on a wobble, though I think that maybe you have. It's just showing me two opposite polarities, and the connecting of those two, the merging together of units. Right? The rune, and I'm starting to see, doing a bunch of these readings now over a few videos, the rune tends to represent the reading. This is the main theme of the reading. And with Jera here, like I was saying, it's both an end and a beginning. See, it's got two markings on here. So it is two opposites. End and beginning are the opposite, but it's the fusion of both of those things. It's both, a coin contains a heads and a tails, and it's just one coin, right? So that to me seems to be a major theme in your life. The I messages, as I found from pile number 1, they tend to be, so it's giving me messages that are almost transcendent, right? They're like larger than normal messages. So it's not just a surface level thing. It's almost as if you were to have a bird's eye position, or an outside of your universe position, right? Like totally removed from your experience, an outside perspective of the things that you can't see within you potentially. And so to me, the biggest thing within you that you can't see is you have some things within you that you feel are opposite, or that you feel are two separate things that maybe you're stuck between, that really can be fused together with your perspective. If you allow yourself to have the perspective of it's not a heads or a tails, it's one coin, if you can find that perspective for your situation, I think that you will be able to move forward into something really beautiful. So first off, we've got the Hanged Man here. And the Hanged Man card is an energy that is all about being caught in something, waiting, being stuck potentially. But the thing about the Hanged Man, right, is that you can see his head is glowing. Oftentimes the Hanged Man is doing it by choice. He has chosen to hang upside down like this in order to gain transcendent insight, right? So you're in a hanged position within your life right now, but it is giving you the opportunity to gain new wisdom. So yeah. Like I was saying before, there's a bunch of things in here that are making me think that you are caught between choices in your life, or what you think are opposite choices, and I'm thinking that maybe you're having a difficult time making a decision on something potentially. We have the Seven of Cups here, and the Seven of Cups, you can see the man is looking at all of these cups, and each one has a lot of options. So oftentimes this can mean somebody having a lot of options, but a lot of times too it can indicate somebody being stuck trying to choose, and not being able to choose any of them because there's so many, and like you don't know, oh, maybe this is a good choice, maybe this is a bad one, you know, like maybe I'm gonna get this snake and it's gonna bite me here, but I really want to get this like beautiful castle or something like that, you know. What else is on here? Some weird ghost magic person. There's a lot of cool imagery on this card. So that's kind of, I think, where you feel that you are. You feel that you're stuck in this energy and maybe having a difficult time making a choice. But I think that maybe you don't... I think that maybe there's more going on here than you can see. And that maybe you need to take a break from trying to make a choice in order to find some new insight. So I gotta say, there's a lot of, like I was saying, duality here. You have both the Empress and the Emperor here, which is really cool. So, the Emperor is kind of like the quintessential masculine, like divine masculine um, influence, and then the Empress is the opposite. She's the divine feminine influence. Um, and so you have both of them here. So I think that's indicating that you have the ability to have a balance between both the masculine and feminine ideals within yourself. It doesn't matter your gender. We all have masculine and feminine parts to ourselves. And um, I think that you're being asked to see those within you, because we also have the Two of Cups, which literally is the card about fusing those two things together. It's normally in the Rider-Waite depicted with the Caduceus, which I've drawn on this card as well. The Caduceus is a symbol with two snakes that are wrapping up within to the top, and they kind of represent this combination of masculine and feminine forces. And like I was saying before, you have this sexual energy card, which is also directly talking about that. I'm going to read this card for you real quick from the book, because I think it's got some insight that's pretty interesting for you. In the purest sense, sexual energy is not an energy to be expanded from you. It is a state to reside in. The first and second chakras are the root of our sexual feelings. When you use this very potent energy to manipulate people and situations, you are doing yourself a huge disservice. When you expand your life force energy up from your first two chakras and incorporate the energy from your heart and your crown, you can experience the most complete and divine experience of sexual energy possible. This doesn't even have to include another person. When you can merge your connection to Creator with your connection to the earth, without any filters or blocks between the two, you will experience a complete and true connection. We act as the conduit between heaven and earth, and when we can put ourselves into this energy at any given time, we are not tempted to use our sexual energy in a way that feeds our need for validation, nor are we easily manipulated by another's outputting of sexual energy. This card is asking you to look at where sexual energy is directed at in your life. So, I don't necessarily think that you are kind of going through a need for validation through sexual energy necessarily. I'm not sure. But what I think that this card is saying in this spread is, there was something that resonated. We act as a conduit between heaven and earth when we are kind of merging those two things. It's very like, if you've heard of the Kundalini energy, like that's literally what this is talking about. The Caduceus is the symbol of that, which is merging between you, like bringing the energy from deep within the earth and up through your body, up into the sky, and then bringing it back down again. What that's doing is moving this energy to be used not necessarily just in sexual situations, but as creativity, right? So, the root chakra, which is where the sexual energy is, root in the sacral chakra, actually. That's also where our creativity comes from. It's the same place. That same burning fire, passion, desire is how we make and create things. And so I think that you have the opportunity to make things. I think that maybe you are an artist or some kind of creative person. And another card that will show that is the Three of Pentacles here. And this card in the traditional Rider-Waite is depicted as a man or it's three people who are standing in a cathedral, and it's two people with plans who are talking to and getting advice from this architect, this artist who's building the cathedral for them, right? And it talks about this being in this position to use your expertise to build something with other people. And also, like, you being the critical component to help make that happen. That you, as you who you are that being, that force who can help make it happen. And I think that this seesaw that I was thinking of, I think that maybe you have been feeling as if you have to choose between your art or your creativity or your whatever your creative passion is, and your job or where your income's coming from or where your money's coming from, because we have both the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups here. And like I was saying before, if you were stuck in this energy of not knowing which to choose, it's saying to fuse those things together, to fuse those ideals into one thing, that these two sides are actually two sides of the same coin. And this new beginning that's coming, you have new day here, you've got a new beginning. You have both the Aces of Pentacles and Cups, and you have both the Pages of the Pentacles and the Cups. And both the Aces and the Pages represent the beginning of something, right? The Aces of the suits it's the very first card, and it is the beginning of that journey. It holds the culmination of the entire energy within it. But it's saying that it's that spark, like this is the thing that you are working on, and it's new. So you have both the Pentacles, which is material, not just money, but health, all things physical, physical abundance. You have that, and then you have the Ace of Cups, and the Cups is all about emotions, love, joy, feeling. So you're moving with emotional abundance as well, and then you have the Pages of both suits as well, which is really amazing. And the Pages represent somebody who's either a student, but also somebody who's beginning a new career, beginning a journey, and so you are beginning this emotional abundance that you're building within yourself, and you're also beginning this material abundance. And so I think that you really have the opportunity to merge these two parts of yourself into one thing. And then more duality, like I was saying before, you've got the masculine and feminine with the Emperor and the Empress. This Six of Cups here. So the Six of Cups is all about memories, things from your past. So it's like happy memories coming back into play. So potentially maybe you had something that had a dream that you wanted to do, or had something to do with this creative force, this creative energy at one point in your life, and maybe you've paused it or stopped it or felt that you couldn't do it for some reason. But this is very clearly saying that period, this Hanged Man period, where you felt like you couldn't, where you felt like that wasn't applicable to you anymore, that you couldn't do this, that period's over in your life, right? You got a new day here. You don't have to carry that energy into now, because you're being given a new opportunity. You're being given this new moment to fuse together whatever that is. And it doesn't have to, a lot of times too, this might be asking you to, not to compromise on yourself, but to maybe some of the expectations that you were holding around whatever this passion was at one point, those expectations are what's keeping you blocked. And once you learn how to release whatever things you feel need to happen with whatever this is, whatever conditions you've put on this, if you can release yourself from that, this is coming into your life with a new opportunity to have it all, and it's probably not going to look the way that you would have imagined it would, probably not at all, but it is going to be incredibly satisfying for you. So we have the dog here. I haven't really talked about him at all. I think for this, it's like these cards, at least for the last one too, the animals have been really tapping into that eye energy, which I was talking about before. It's sort of this like crazy deep perspective, right? That's like super far removed and like very like cosmic, almost like this deep cosmic perspective that's crazy when you tap into it. And for me, I'm really getting this like guardian energy. The dog is the guard of the gates of hell, yeah, but also like Anubis, who was the god of the underworld. A lot of that like underworld energy, um, uh, which is kind of like, you know, the sexual energy, like I was talking about before with the Kundalini, is like bringing that energy from the bottom up to the top. So it's like, you know, I was reading in the book for the dog spirit. It's like, you know, he's protecting these secrets, right? This like this wisdom, these like ancient ideals and things that are buried within our collective being, you know. So I think that you have potential to tap into this for whatever creativity, you know, is coming into your life. Yeah, I don't know, you know, I don't know how arcane or spiritual or like occulty you want to get into anything, and you definitely don't have to. But I think that you have the opportunity to work with this creative force, the creative life force. Um, you know, it's very much like I'm an artist myself, and a lot of it is like clearing this channel, right? Like our body is this channel for something larger than any one of us, and I think that art is that. Like art is the same thing as mediumship in a lot of ways, because I feel like they come from the same place. And this kundalini stuff, this like the catechus here, the snakes that rise between you, right? That's like talking about like moving that energy through your body and like really tapping in and connecting to that force. Um, and bringing it in and using it and making stuff from it and like being in a position to build with it and from that. Um, and like I said, with this rune here, it's reaping the benefits of past work. So I think that you've put a lot of work into this already for whatever reason, and maybe it was a long time ago, or maybe it was very recently. Um, Whatever has happened, this hanged man period has given you insight. And if you have seen it yet or not, the experiences that you have gone through are not for nothing. The experiences that you have gone through with these blockages, you've learned great insights and wisdom from that experience, and now you're being asked to see what that is, to look at that perspective. And once you do, um, you know, really connect and trust it. Like, because you have all of this really powerful, like, creative force energy in here, and you've got the New Day and these Pentacles cards, like, this is very real. This is a very real part of you that you need to trust. Like, trust yourself, because you've got it. And any, like, voices that you have in your head that are telling you no, that you can't do it, or, you know, that it's not possible, or whatever, any of that negative talk, like don't listen to that, because you've got it. You know, you've got a clear channel here, and it's time to merge these parts of yourself that you've potentially separated out of. You know, we all do that. You know, it's very easy to do that. So, you know, don't be hard on yourself or anything for that. Actually, be excited, because like this is a really cool balance of energy here. Like balance is a big part of this as well. There's a lot of reflection. I say that as I look at this Six of Cups card that I've drawn, reflective pool, you know? Like there's a lot of that in this spread. You've got these balances of forces going, and stop looking at one as being bad and one as being good, or like, you know, I've got all this stuff that I feel like I have to do, and then all this stuff I want to do, or like I've got all of these things, you know, any of that, any of those like seesaws that you're doing. Look at the whole coin. Like the seesaw is one child's game, right? Like it's a equipment of for having fun and playing, right? It's all good. It's all part of it. So Yeah, oh my god, I hope that that resonated. Um, Let me know in the comments if you liked it. If you can, I would love it if you could subscribe to my channel if you haven't. A big, deep, deep, deep thanks to all of my subscribers who have subscribed so far and everyone who's commented on my videos. It's really great to hear from you and that that you really like this kind of thing. Um, and I would be so honored if you could subscribe if you haven't. I'm trying to grow my channel here, and it's coming along. So I'm pretty excited. I put some music out the other day, so feel free to check that out if you want. It's going to be within my videos and content too. So I'm hoping to make this channel both these tarot readings and some of my intuitive work, and then also my art stuff. And who knows what else. I'm really excited to build it into whatever it's going to be. So stick with me. Thanks for being here with my journey. Before I end, though, I've got the book reading to do. So I'm going to be rolling the dice to find out which words are for you, and then we'll put them together in a poem, and then it will give further insight into this reading. So, one moment. Of, there, our, islands, clear, ultimately, the. Oh, so I'm going to read out the words first, and then I'll make the poem. So you had of, there, our, islands, clear, ultimately, and the. So one moment. Okay, so this is what I got. Our of the islands there, ultimately clear. So to me, what that's saying is like, we are of, so our of the islands there, we are of the islands there. And what are those islands? They are ultimately clear. So at the end of the day, what we are is clear to move into, that opening, right? I was talking about the open channel before, being clear within your body, within your mind, within your being, right? Of being open. Islands speak of isolation, right? Like the islands, they're all independent and out there. But this is saying that they're clear. So I think maybe, that's tying back into this like hidden thing that I was talking about, with the dog. Showing that like these islands are, kind of isolated or hidden, but we are of those hidden elements within us, and that they are now clear. So you are being ultimately opened to that that ability if you want to be. Yeah, I hope that resonated. Once again, let me know if you like it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks. We're going to move on to pile number 3. Hi, pile number 3. This is your reading for Messages from the Eye. This was the eye that you chose. So the eye is a symbol that permeates many different cultures throughout history. You can think about, ancient Egypt, the Eye of Horus. You can think about the Hamsa, which is the hand with the eye in it, which is a protective stone, or a protective seal. There are many things with the eye. And so, it's a symbol that I've been working with a lot. I've just kind of been in tune with it for a while, and so while I was working with it the other day, I felt the urge to make my whole readings this week to be themed this way. So we're going to be doing that. They've been really interesting so far. The first reading that I did kind of blew me out of the way. Like, it was just so intense that I I had to pause for a few days, and then I did the second reading last night, and now I had to wait another day to do this reading just because it's been really intense. It's interesting that this has been kind of like triggering some chains within myself of thinking very deep about things. I've been working on these readings. This is I think my fourth one I have up on the internet now, and this one is very markedly different than the other ones, and I'll probably go back to being a little bit lighter moving forward, but these readings have been very deep. And I think that has to do with this eye symbolism. What it's showing me is, very intense perspective. It's almost like this cosmic perspective it's showing me, like this very deep, 7 parts removed from you, like what is the larger message you need to hear, very upper level, or not upper, but outer level from you, of this like very like, think about me taking a picture of a worm and then me taking a picture of that exact same spot from Google Earth, it's like shifting that perspective. So we'll see what that means for you. So keep that in mind as I'm doing this reading. It'll be kind of on that larger cosmic perspective this week, and then I hope you like that. So for your rune, you got Manaz, and Manaz is the rune for like man. It can be a symbol for humanity, but generally it means the individual. Sometimes it can mean it can refer to the masks that we wear. It can refer to looking at oneself on a deeper level, or it can be asking us to do that, like instead of asking us to look at who we show ourselves to be in public and to people versus who we really are, and coming together between those things. Oh, your book, by the way, was The Culture of Ancient Egypt. This is a really cool one. So we're going to get to the book in a minute. I'm going to do the reading first, and then we'll do the poem afterward. So, for your Shamanic Healing Oracle cards, you've got Masculine Energy, and you've got Ancient Wisdom. And I have the book that I'm going to read from for both of those in a bit, but we're going to do the whole reading first and then jump into those when it feels like it's time. For your animal guide, you got the owl. And this is a really great spirit, so really good energy. Pretty amazing. The owl, the owl represents wisdom. It has that symbology because it sees at night. It sees through clarity what many others can't, which ties so directly into this eye energy. It's crazy. So you've got probably the biggest symbol relating to that eye energy out of any of the other cards. So this is really cool. I don't know if anybody's seen Adventure Time who's watching this, but how there's the cosmic owl, like it's very similar to that, like this like very deeply wise cosmic perspective almost, the owl of like in tune, seeing all that can't be seen. So it's kind of like we're adding that dimension to your life, right? What are these things that you are not seeing? What are these things that you are blinding yourself to? The night within yourself, right? And can we shine in some kind of illumination on those things for you? For the handmade tarot deck, we've got the Five of Pentacles, the King of Wands, the Hermit, the Two of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, and the Page of Cups. I gave you an extra card for each deck because I needed some more answers. So you get extra clarity today. I've got the Ace of Wands, King of Pentacles, the Fool, Three of Cups, King of Cups, and the Nine of Pentacles. So, there's a couple of things that really jump out to me right away. There's a lot of masculine energy in this deck. So, I don't know if you're a man or it doesn't matter. We all have masculine and feminine energies, regardless of gender. So if you're male, female, or non-binary, I'm getting a lot of masculine energy in this reading. And because of that, we're going to jump right in and read this masculine energy card. Because not only do we have this masculine energy here, but we also have three kings, which is very intense. You have the King of Pentacles, the King of Cups, and the King of Wands. So that's some like dominant king energy going on here. So so let's read that real quick and then we'll keep going. The sun, powerful, a life force without which nothing on this earth could survive. The masculine energy is one action, doing, creating, forcing. In nature, it is balanced out with feminine energy. When we find ourselves embodying this energy, we get things done. We are thinking, logical beings. We reside here too staunchly. If we reside here too staunchly, we do not have room for the opposite energy to come in. Being able to effortlessly flow from one to another, masculine to feminine, is a pinnacle of being in the flow energetically. Sometimes in love relationships, the energy turns topsy-turvy, and we end up residing in an energy that doesn't meet our highest need. This is hard to break out of due to fear. The fear of, if I don't do it, it won't get done. Realizing that two people make up a relationship, in an evolved one, the relationship itself develops its own energetic balance, a perfect combination of the yin and yang, masculine and feminine. If there is a void in one area, an imbalance will develop, and as the nature of things, unconsciously we will try to balance it out. Being aware is the perfect first step. Alternatively, this card signifies a very important man in your life. So, I think because we have this overwhelming masculine energy, and what this card is saying, I think that potentially that is out of balance in your life right now. So, I just want to reread this real quick. Sometimes in love relationships, or relationships in general, the energy turns topsy-turvy and we end up residing in an energy that doesn't meet our highest need. This is hard to break out of due to fear, the fear of, if I don't do it, it won't get done. Yeah, so you know that the masculine energy is all about that charging forward, making things happen. A lot of times it's like doing it yourself kind of energy, you know, like feeling this overwhelming urge to make things happen on your own without asking for help. And I think that maybe that's kind of where, or feeling feeling like you need to be in charge, right? Uh, we've got the Three of Cups here, which is a card of three friends coming together and celebrating. So I actually think that friendship is really important to you. And I think that these kinds of connections are really, really important to you. And like the Manas rune was saying, um, oftentimes this comes up when we are wearing masks that we need to demask ourselves. We need to kind of figure out what is me versus what is this thing that I'm feeling pressured to be. And I think that maybe with this overwhelming masculine energy, you might be feeling pressure to put on a mask in a sense, or try to be something. You know, like I think that maybe you're trying to make things happen a little bit too hard, or you're trying to conform to the ideals of the people around you potentially. But we've got some cards here showing you ways to move through that energy. Um, we've got like, let me talk about these kings here, because they're not, they're all kind of pretty balanced on their own. That energy of like trying to make things happen. You've got the King of Wands here, and the Wand suit is all about manifestation. You also have the Ace of Wands, which is a new beginning in towards the pursuit of manifestation. So this is something that you are moving into. You've got a new start here as well with the Fool. So you have a new beginning coming to you, or being offered to you in your world. And I think that it has to come after this reflective period of trying to see what masks you're wearing, trying to see where you're imbalanced within yourself. What are you taking on that's too much? What are you trying to force to happen instead of allowing to happen? The the feminine energy that it seems as if you were partially imbalanced from. Now, you do have some cards here that show it, and I'll tell you in a second. That feminine energy is all about being in the receptive mode, allowing things to come to you. Um, with manifestation here, a lot of how manifestation can work the best and the most effectively is when we set our intentions, we put it out there, we we have our goals and our things that we want, and then we wait for the opportunities to come to us. It doesn't mean not taking action at all, but it means that we let go of the conditions within which we need it to happen. This masculine energy is all sometimes is like having this almost hyper vigilance of like trying to control every aspect of an outcome. So I think that you potentially want to make something happen because we have this Wands energy, this manifestation energy, the King of Wands as well. Um, but I think that in order to do that, you have to do some soul searching and find a new period within yourself. Because what we have here is the Five of Pentacles, and the Five of Pentacles is it's like in the Rider-Waite, it's depicted as two children who are poor in the snow outside of a church in the nighttime. And it can often represent being in this period of like feeling destitute almost, the dark night of the soul, this like deep sadness and hurt period within ourselves where nothing has really gone our way and things are kind of dark. So I think that this is potentially a period that you have been in. I don't necessarily think that this is where you're going, but I think that it's something that you're being asked to work through, because we also have the Hermit card here, which is all about going within, seeing within yourself and being alone, taking yourself out of being in social situations. And so I think that you have this period of being a hermit right now to show you some things, right? We have the Two of Pentacles here, which is all about striking a balance between things. It's the balance of I need to do this, but I also need to do that, and life gives me this, and I act this way. In the Rider-Waite, it's depicted as a person who is juggling, and in between the juggling is the infinity symbol. And so it talks about how life is kind of this juggling act where we have to do one thing and then we have to do another. And so having both the Hermit and the Three of Cups here, I think that you're being asked, regardless of whether you're in this period of being alone right now, first of all, I don't think it's forever. And second of all, I don't think that you could be in that energy forever, because you're being asked to balance between these two things. Balance between your urge and need to be social, and balance between your desperate need to be alone. You know, maybe you've been unbalanced and have a very difficult time being alone potentially, and so you've surrounded yourself with friends and acquaintances and people continuously, and I think maybe you need to take a moment to reflect, and to take off those masks of who you feel you need to be in order to be around people, because in order to do that, I think that you have the opportunity to tap into something larger than yourself, and tap into almost this universal cosmic wisdom, right? That the owl is offering you. You have the potential to deepen your connection to these things, and by doing so, you open yourself up to greater possibility and greater happiness. Happiness-wise, you know, we have the Page of Cups, and pages are all about people who are novices at the suit, who are beginning to start this journey within this suit. And so, but you also got the King of Cups as well. So, I mean, that's kind of telling me that you have the potential to be the king right away, but you have to look at it as if, you know, you have this beginning period in order to reach the king. The cups are all about emotions, love, joy, contentment, physical ease, or mental ease, not mental, emotional ease, joy, peace, a sense of peace. And I don't think you're going to reach that through these external circumstances and situations. I don't think you're going to reach that through other people. I think the only way to work through this feeling of darkness within, the dark night of the soul of the Five of Pentacles, is to take some time in solitude, and move yourself back into balance. Now, what you can do in solitude, I think it's also asking you to go into nature more, and that nature oftentimes has a lot of answers for us that we wouldn't even expect. Walking out in the woods alone can incredibly help you, or not even just that, but even being in your backyard, or if you're in the city, finding a park that you can find an alone spot with, wherever you are, any kind of place where you can surround yourself with nature. Just being within that peace and comfort can bring wisdom. And so ancient wisdom, we're going to read that right now because it talks directly about that. Nature is the perfect place to center yourself and ground out any excessive noise in your head. In nature, all the secrets of the universe are held, from the fiercest energy of a raging sea in a storm to the nurturing and loving energy of 100-year-old grove of trees. Get out in nature and listen to what she has to tell you. There is much to learn from nature. Trees just want to be trees. They are not trying to be boulders. Deer are just deer. They accept that. Wolves are wolves. They know no other way. They do not try to get an extreme makeover to become a bear. See, this is exactly what I've been telling you. The energy vibration can be so different from the human experience. Oh, this energy vibration can be so different from the human experience. It is pure love, non-judgment, and acceptance. When you tap into the ancient wisdom of the natural world, you find peace within yourself. You get to know thyself. By drawing this card, you are being asked to come to peace with who you are and what you have to offer the situation. See? That's exactly what I've been saying. So, you need to find a way to self-acceptance. And not trying to be anything but who you are inside. And I think that you're being asked to find a way to come to that place within yourself. Don't let expectations of other people turn you into something that you're not. Don't feel like you have to be something in order to impress people, because that's really hurting you on the inside. Excuse me. Yeah, I feel like that's most of this energy here. Oh, and if you work on this, if you go within and you find yourself, and you find the aspects of yourself that need to be expressed, you've got the Nine of Pentacles here, which is the card of ultimate abundance and fulfillment. This is a woman who's in her garden, in nature, with birds, basking in the finer things of life. And you have this opportunity for yourself. Like, this is where you can go. No problem. But you have to juggle this a little bit more, of finding a way to be alone and to be with people and to come to a comfort within yourself that maybe you don't have right now. Allow yourself to take off the masks that you feel you're wearing because you feel you need to conform. The people that are meant to be in our lives, the people who are really, who are going to make us the happiest, truly fulfilled and happy, are the ones who are going to accept you for who you are, for being you. So if you are surrounding yourself with people that you feel you have to be around for whatever reason, X, Y, or Z, if you feel like pressure to be something, to conform to something in order to have these people in your life, like, chances are those are not the people for you, And that's a tough thing to come to. I have had to deal with that in my life. I spent a good period of time totally conforming to being this person that I wasn't, and just to impress people, or just to because I thought I needed the X, Y, and Z person in my life for whatever reason. But the answer is, I felt so horrible because I wasn't allowing myself to be who I really am. And I was putting myself down continuously for just existing, and then why can't I be like this, why am I not this thing, and then just forcing and pushing myself into that, it really put me in a pretty extreme depression. So this dark night of the soul period that you might be in, I've experienced that directly, absolutely directly. I'm not the most, I don't know if this is a masculine, feminine kind of a thing for you, potentially. It doesn't necessarily have to be, but I know for my own journey, as a, what do you call it, socialized male person, born male, socialized male person in this society, there's a lot of pressure to conform to some standards of masculinity, potentially, that are kind of bullshit. I don't know if that's what's going on with you, but you do have a lot of this masculine energy here. and these king cards and a lot of dudes. So it's making me think that potentially you have this unbalanced version of masculinity going within you. Maybe you have these standards within that you've set yourself into conforming to, potentially, and it might not have anything to do with that. I do think that there is some conformity that you are going through, regardless of whether it's these masculine ideals. But I will say that our society puts a heavy pressure onto men to conform to X and X standards for whatever reason, and including like I'm queer, but even in the gay community, quote unquote, like there's still ridiculous standards of masculinity that are being. I mean, that's a whole other story. Like their standards of masculinity are hyper inflated within that culture. Not it depends on which circles you're in, but a lot of them that's still there. There's pressure physically to look a certain way, or you know, there's the whole like mask for mask thing, which is all about like, I'm a dude and I don't want anybody who's slightly feminine to be anywhere near me. It's like totally ridiculous because it's like, why should that matter? Especially within the gay community. But I don't think that that's necessarily. I don't know if any of that resonates with you. That's just my own personal experience and the circles that I've been in and encountered with. But regardless, there's a lot of pressure. Yeah, that's within the gay community. Without the gay community, I mean, who knows? Especially around like dudes, like you can't even. In American culture, you can't even like hug a man, and it's not okay, And then we have these internalized states where, we can't show emotion, or we can't show sadness, or fear, or anything, any like you can't be brash or whatever, and so if you're feeling this intense internal pain, maybe you don't have any outlet for it. You don't have any way to express that pain, and that's not real. I mean, it's your lived experience that it's horrible, but you shouldn't feel that you can't be in touch with your emotions or any of that, because of society's expectation of you. Right? You are your own individual being, and fuck society. Like seriously, fuck the world sometimes. You just gotta say that. Like, there are the people out there who will identify with you as you and will love you as you. And probably a lot of these people that you're afraid of showing emotion with, or you're afraid of showing your real self to, or you're afraid of showing parts of yourself to, they're gonna be on board. If they're meant for you, if they're your loving family, they will be on board. And if they aren't, then, you gotta move away from those people, and you gotta find the people who will love and support you for being who you are, because those people are out there. We live in an incredible time where we have a deeply multicultural society, and I firmly believe that there are groups of people out there for all of us. You have your tribe on this planet. Like, they are there. And they will love and support you for you through and through. Like, the deep you, not the mask. And the more that you put on a mask, the more hollow you're going to feel, the more fake your relationships are going to feel, and the more unfulfilled you're going to feel. And so you're just going to keep building this dark black hole within you that you don't even know what it is. Maybe you don't even know that you're missing something, and that's just going to keep building and building, and this disconnect is going to keep building and building, and it's not fun. And you're being offered a way to come out of that kind of thing. Because, like, look at you. You're the King of Cups, the King of Cups is deeply, deeply in tune with his emotions. He is one of the kindest, most loving people in this entire deck, right? And the thing about him, though, is that he's deeply in tune with his emotions, and so he uses them to his advantage. He knows when someone is screwing him over. He knows when someone is trying to take advantage of him, and he knows how to put up healthy boundaries with those people. It's so important to have healthy boundaries with people, because when you have those, then you can open your heart and be totally and completely loving with the people who are ready to accept and receive your love. And that's the King of Cups is totally and completely in tune with that. And you're being asked to tune into your King of Cups energy. It's the emotional masculine energy, that exact thing that I was talking about, where it's in our society it's been deemed this shadow thing, but it doesn't need to be a shadow side of you. It doesn't need to be something that you are embarrassed about or you feel ashamed of. Don't feel ashamed for being in tune with your emotions. It's deeply important, and a very amazing skill, because it allows you to have empathy for people, and to have strong empathy is something that's so completely lacking in our society at large right now. And it's what's being asked of us in this world to create. It's the imbalance that is lacking in the world that we need to come back into. And so, like, you are needed right now. You for being you. Was that somewhere? That was somewhere. I don't remember which book that was in. But you for being you, exactly as you are needed. And not like, you don't need to conform to be something that you don't think you are, because that is just going to hide you away and sink you down further. And you're needed in this world right now. We need people who are in tune with their emotions and are healthy. And when you can do that, when you can find out how to be that person, you're going to be so much happier, and you're going to surround yourself in this material abundance, this physical abundance, this love, this peace. Like, that's being offered to you. This is a potential. We've got the Ace of Wands here, which talks about a new venture. So with the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Wands is all about manifesting something. It's like that, like, passionate spirit, that drive. So I think by going within and becoming more in tune with your emotions, I think that you have the opportunity to spark a new passion for yourself to move forward. And you've got the King of Pentacles here, and he's all about material abundance. So, like I was saying before, this new renewed passion, it can translate into even career stuff potentially for you, or ways of making money, or bringing in more, just more abundance, having a more abundant life, being happier, feeling more secure in yourself will help you make your whole world feel secure. Be like the owl and see all of the things. See the things that other people can't see. I think you have that skill. You have that potential, especially with the King of Cups here being so in tune with emotions. I think you can probably read people's emotions very well. And it might not be something that you are allowing yourself to do right now, but by tuning into that, I think you'll feel happier, because then you can find the people who are in tune with where you are for being you. This Three of Cups card here. Find your tribe, find your group. Like I was saying, it's out there for you. It's out there. maybe it's the complete opposite from what I was saying before, potentially, where you're not surrounding yourself with people, but you feel you have to conform to be a certain way, so you're isolating yourself because you can't deal with not being yourself around people. So you just aren't around people. That's a potential as well. But then that's asking you, if that's your case, to go and find the people who love you, who want to be with you, because they're out there. You don't need to be isolated anymore. Put yourself out there. Okay, that's your reading. I hope that resonated with you. I don't know if it did or not. So let me know in the comments. If you, I'm going to do the book now as well. So we're going to do a poem real quick, so don't go anywhere. But if you like this reading, please like it. Give me a comment if you want. I'd love to hear feedback. As I do more of these, I'm interested to hear what your opinion is. And then I'd like to thank right now all of my subscribers. It's growing a little bit every day, which is so amazing to see. So thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed and you'd like to, I would be so honored. I'm trying to grow this channel and really make it a thing for myself and for for the community, for all the people who need these readings and want to hear more. I released a song recently on the channel that I'll probably use in this video, and I'm gonna have more art stuff up there as well. So it's kind of a chance for me to have a combination of doing all of the art things I'd like to do and doing these kinds of readings for people. So anyway, let me know what you think. Subscribe if you can, and we're gonna do this thing real quick, so don't go anywhere. A. Accept. When. 2. The. 2. God. Accept to a god to the when. So I guess to me what that's saying is sort of like a god to the when is kind of like this expectation, right? A god to the when to me is like feeling like it's stuck and tied to the conditions of like, when is this going to happen? How is this going to be? What's going to be the thing? It's saying to the accept to it. So it's like the exception is that. So to me, I feel like you wanna stop that. Don't be a slave to the when, you know? And then no, that's not what it says. It's saying a god to the when. So yeah, maybe change that. Stop being a slave to the conditions of how things are going to happen and change your perspective. Be a god to the conditions. So like allow things to occur the way that they need to, and take on this manifestation energy and rise to that being open to the how and the when, and then but knowing what the what, you know, like feeling what the what is going to be and releasing any expectations around how that's going to happen. That's sort of manifestation 101 right there. So I think that maybe that's kind of where you're going, you know. Look into some manifestation techniques if that's something that interests you, because I think that maybe you'd be into that. Yeah. Okay, that's all I got for you. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Hey there, you made it back to the end. This has been probably the longest video that I've made, in the sense that it's taken the longest to make this one. This was a couple of days here. So when I edit this and stitch it together, hopefully it'll look good. Excuse me. We're gonna read the final poem here, and then I'll let you on your way. So thanks for tuning back in to the final poem. And the A said of effort, don't. Hour of the islands there, ultimately clear, except to a god to the wind. Thanks. That was cool. That one worked as a full poem pretty well. So, one of these days I'm gonna make a video with a bunch of poems. We'll do like a big poetry reading video, and read up all of them, and I think that'd be really cool. So, yeah. Thanks again, guys. See you later.